Coach Rob here. Just wanted to take a moment and go over a concept that we refer to in our print materials as PNF stretching. The official terminology, or the acronym, stands for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. And don't be intimidated by the big words. You'll see it a lot of times in print referred to as PNF stretching as an abbreviation and an acronym for it. What I want you to understand is PNF stretching by nature just means that maximum contraction will result in a maximum relaxation. So the idea here is when you take a muscle and you have it resist against something stationary, when you relax it, the muscle will actually increase its range of motion a little bit further than it was before you engage the maximum contraction. What I've got here are two different things. This is just a stretch cord that we use, and we recommend that our athletes travel with it for strength and conditioning. But you can also use it as a device to help with stretching. And this is by Spry. This is an actual stretch cord. As it says, stretch cord to help you facilitate the activity of stretching. I'm going to show you how we use it, particularly with the hamstrings. The idea here is we're trying to find a way to isolate the hamstrings. One of the things that I don't want you to do is I don't want you to bend over to stretch your hamstrings anymore. The reason being is that when you are standing on a single leg, the hamstrings are designed to stabilize the kneecap. When you're asking a muscle to contract to stabilize as well as lengthen simultaneously, you increase the risk of pulling that attachment of hamstring off. So in regards to how to stretch on your back and incorporate a PNF stretch with it, I want to show you a couple of ways to do that. This first stretch here with the Spry stretch band here, what you're going to do is just wrap that over your foot. You just want to make sure you get it far enough down so that way it doesn't slip off and hit you in the face. This has nice little handles that you can incorporate with your hands. Now what you're going to do and what you'll notice is I'm locking my knees out. It's most important that you have your knees locked out first. I don't care if you have to be down here to lock your knees out, that's what you do. Bring it up to where you're comfortable. Once you feel the tension either behind the knee or right at the base of your bottom, which is where your hamstrings attach, what I want you to do is just hold your foot stationary, and I want you to try to drive your heel down to the ground. And do that for 3 to 5 seconds. And then when you release it, then what I want you to do is just lock your knee out and see if you can't bring that hamstring stretch a couple degrees more. Some of you will, some of you won't. It's okay, it's not a race to see how far you can get. It's more about just trying to maximize your contraction against the resistance of your hands. Relax, straighten your knee out, and see if you can't deepen it. In a hamstring stretch, our ideal range of motion is 90 degrees. That's what you're shooting for. Anything above that or beyond that is just gravy. But by getting to 90 degrees, that's your ideal range of motion for hamstrings. Again, that's with the Spry stretching cord. Now for those of you that have the TheraBands that we recommend that you travel with, you can do the same thing. Just make sure you get it in the arch of your foot so it doesn't slip off and smack you. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to bring it back as comfortable as you can without pulling. Then when that's as far as it'll go, you just resist against it by pushing down. 3 to 5 seconds, relax, and then see if you can't straighten your leg and deepen the stretch a little bit further. And again, your goal is to get to 90 degrees. A couple things to think about when you're doing that is when you lay back, make sure that the bottom foot is sitting straight up. That's going to isolate the hamstrings and square off the hips. And you just want to be able to press against that, okay? Another way that you can do that is you can actually lay down at the base of a door jamb, and you can lay adjacent to that, press your heel against something that's stationary, or you can actually have somebody that you can resist against. The idea is that you don't want that person deepening that stretch because they can override your body's stretch reflex, which is, it originates at the Golgi apparatus inside the muscle tissue. If I just take my upper body weight and I push it through it, by the time it sends a message to your head and back that it hurts, I've already gone too far and you increase the risk of tearing the muscle off. So that's the background to a PNF stretch specific to the hamstrings. If you have any questions, feel free to email us, ROBB, the number 3, @earthlink.net. And until next time, train smart.